James, buddy, what's going on?
Nothing good, mate. She left me.
What?
Yeah. Not even a letter on the bed or anything. Just an Instagram DM.
Seriously?
Yeah. You'll hear what she said?
Yeah, shoot, go.
James, sorry that it had to be like this. While I've enjoyed our time together, I realise I can no longer be with someone that has a Miata. Not only am I embarrassed for you, but I just don't want to share a life with you where the answer is always Miata. Sometimes I want to be the answer. In conclusion, I'm leaving you for Gerald. She has a Mini Cooper S and actually enjoys watching Grey's Anatomy with me. He says the S stands for sporty. Dude, Gerald.
Yeah, Gerald.
The guy has 3 fingers.
Across both hands.
Across both hands.
Yeah. Listen, James, there's other options out there.
Now,
There really
I
are.
know you hate her. She's the one for me.
What? No, James. There's other car options out there.
Other than a Miata?
You're watching Throttle House, and my name is Thomas Holland.
And my name is James Engelsman.
And we've already reviewed the M2 Competition, and I think it is the best sport compact car available right now, period.
Yeah, and I disagree.
So he brought that.
Yeah, I insisted on bringing the RS3. And I have no regrets.
And if he insisted on bringing that, I insisted on bringing this, the Camaro SS 1LE, because if you're looking at fun for value for dollar, that one's gonna win.
Sure.
You know what? Why don't you drive the Camaro? I was gonna drive it. Why don't you drive it first?
Fine.
Fine, I'll drive your RS3.
Fine.
Jerk.
Idiot. The RS3. If it was an Italian, I'd be putting fingers and thumb together at my lips and saying, bellissimo. But it's German, so I'll nod my head and say, das ist gut. All-wheel drive and a turbocharged inline 5, the Audi promises a 3.5 second 0 to 60 time. To put that in perspective, that's the same as a Jaguar F-Type SVR, a car that costs twice as much. But does the Audi deliver elsewhere?
Enter the Camaro 1SS 1LE. More than just a car with a license plate name. Heaviest of the bunch, biggest of the bunch, meanest of the bunch. But also the cheapest of the bunch. So, does it even belong here? Answer, yes. Like the M2, it sends its power to the rear wheels. It has back seats, and like the BMW, a manual transmission, but one that controls a 455 horsepower V8. This thing leads the group in power numbers, but we want to find out if it has a shot at the overall title. I love the M2 Competition, but I'm not sure that James is convinced. He is certain that the RS3's ridiculous off-the-line skills will win me over. But I don't know. The M2 now has a proper M engine and a wonderfully high redline. It's a very special car. But today we must consider the all-wheel drive and livability of the RS3 and the brute force of the Camaro. So James and I are going to drive the RS3 and the Camaro first, and then we are both going to hop in the M2 to see if we can crown a victor. So make sure you subscribe because we've got lots more comparisons like this coming up soon.
All right, let's see what James is on about. Inline 5, transverse mounted, front wheel drive kind of based design. This is why I don't do Audis, because I'm a BMW guy. I like rear wheel drive based, I like the engine to be closer to me, closer into the middle. And I don't think James cares that much about those things. And the reality is that you probably shouldn't either, because you're gonna be on the road most of the time.
First things first, it is true what they say. The visibility in this car is minimal. I'll say minimal. All right, let's see what this thing can do, shall we? Jesus Christ. Okay, all right. I get it. It's a Camaro. I'm overcompensating. It should be loud. It should be fast. Not unexpected.
Very good. Wow, it hooks up immediately. All-wheel drive. You can't fault that. That's for sure. And it hides its speed really well. Holy. Okay, slowing down.
Of the group of cars, the Camaro is like the drunk whiskey drinker at the end of the bar that keeps playing I Love Rock and Roll on the jukebox. Except it's not a bar, it's a hotel lobby. And there is no jukebox, and it's already been asked to leave twice.
Love 5-cylinder sound. Okay, There's something about 5 cylinders, that uneven number of cylinders, that has a kind of a type to it that you just don't get anywhere else. Listen. That's good.
This thing is insane. Like, oh, it just holds the road so well. And when you put your foot down, even like, you know, this is 3rd gear. What? Okay, the quiet Brit in me used to small roads doesn't belong here. I'm a fish out of water, but I'm a happy fish because this is lovely.
All right, back road. What's the steering like? Steering is quite sharp, but quite numb, if I'm being perfectly honest. Yeah, I do like it. Front end is very, very accurate. Good sound. Oh, what a sound. There is a slight delay as it delivers the power, but there's no hit of boost. It just kind of rolls the power into you in a really sophisticated way.
This thing is a menace that just wants to keep going. In fact, that's part of its charm. The other part of its charm is the thing under your foot, which grants you access to its 455 brake horsepower engine that has a torque number which is the same. It also won't decimate your wallet. While this is $8 more than the 1SS package, it's still $20,000 less than the M2 and the RS3 as tested. And if you can get over the interior every time you put your foot down, you get to relive that epic moment from The Lion King where Simba does the whole wow, 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 and then Mufasa comes in and does.
It's actually fairly noisy, a fair amount of road noise, a fair amount of harshness actually. I wasn't expecting that, but that makes it engaging, so I'm not going to complain really too much about that. What I know for sure though is that James is in that Camaro right now going wow. He'll have at least said the word wow once, and if he hasn't, the man doesn't have a soul.
Wowee.
Like, all right, and we're going to pitch it in. Okay, here's where Audis do their thing. Definitely detectable understeer out here. A little bit of a slick road. But you know what? If you just come off the throttle a little bit, it becomes very neutral. It still is fun. This is a fun car. I'm having a good time. But that 5-cylinder, God, that engine is so good. It sounds fantastic. Listen, another run through the gears. You know you're in a good car when you keep wanting to slow down and downshift so that you can then accelerate again. That's good. That's good. Excellent powertrain. The interior of this car is it's awesome. It's not super like daring in its design, but it definitely is well made. All the materials and the fit of the pieces are just perfect, so Audi-like. Like there's some plastics down here, but they're Audi plastics, so you won't care. They're just really, really well made. Everything is so tightly done. All the buttons have a click to them. Hear that? You hear that? You don't get that in other cars. There's positive feedback when you use the interior of this car. Also, this steering wheel is by far and away the nicest steering wheel I have seen on a car in a long time. It looks fantastic.
The low quality interior, high powered engine muscle car thing is something that the American brands have been doing very well for a very long time, because it saves you money and you get an amazing bang for your buck. It also comes with an LSD, magnetic ride, and some other stuff that I can't think about because it's too much fun to put your foot down in this thing. So what does that all translate to? Answer, a really epic sports car.
All right, serious switchbacks right now. Yes. It's still fun. And I'm incredibly comfortable. That's what this car does better than anything. A comfortable, lovely commuter when I'm still having fun here on a back ride. However, spec'd out, this Audi RS3 is eye-wateringly expensive. Too expensive, if you ask me. But what I'm gonna do right now is I'm going to go drive the Camaro because I want some manual transmission, rear-wheel drive fun. That's what I want.
Thomas and I then met up at the rendezvous and switched cars. So Stevie Wonder sings a song about positivity, but getting out of the Camaro, I'm thinking visibility. It feels good to be able to see where I'm going again. Very quick off the mark, that all-wheel drive, you can already feel it. Feel super confident around the corners. Steering is wonderful, lighter than the Camaro. Oh my God. Yes. I think there's some merit to all-wheel drive.
All right, back in the Camaro. Oh my God, I missed this car. This doesn't have the low-down torque that the RS3 has. Without a question, it really, really doesn't, even the big, dirty V8. But what it does have is a power band that makes you drive. It makes you run out the gears. It makes you shift. It makes you want to push it. And that's the best part about this thing. It really, really is. This is a car that makes you want to be a driver.
Oh. The gear changes are lovely. It does a little burble every time it changes. Oh, it's a nice, it burps in your face and you like it, you enjoy it. It doesn't smell of onions, it smells of ice cream. I was very much looking forward to driving the Audi RS3. For one thing, the exterior is more subdued than the other two, which, while it might seem like a negative, is actually a testament to Audi knowing their audience, because for those who have graduated from a Golf R, this is what they want. They want the sleeper looking car. They don't want the super aggressive face of the Camaro or the mean look of the M2.
And here's what happens. Foot down, oh, rear goes a little bit. The SS1LE is the Camaro that you want if you really want a proper driving experience. Because it's sharp, it's agile, it doesn't feel like a big honking muscle car. It feels like a real sports car. Even on a back road. I've driven this thing on the track and it was phenomenal. I absolutely loved it. It's a really well-balanced, excellently designed chassis that will bite you if you don't know what you're doing, but that means that you can drive it very fast. And the rear just wants to go. This doesn't get old.
If the Camaro is the drunken whiskey drinker of the lot, then the RS3 is the cute brunette who's twirling her Chardonnay and talking about the geopolitical climate. But she knows how to find her mate. Goes for the more sophisticated crowd. The person that says, I want to go 60 miles an hour in 3.5 seconds, but I've got nothing to prove. And my God, do you get to hold the loveliest thing while doing it. I've said it before and I will say it again. Audi does such lovely steering wheels. I think they're the best. I want to hold this thing longer than a smelly fart at the dinner table with my girlfriend and her parents.
Everything about this car is just immediate. There's no delays in anything. The front end, bang, it goes in. The shifter, bang, it hits into gear. The clutch engages like this. The engine responds just like a punch in the face. It makes the same sound too. That's what this car is. This is the car equivalent of a punch in the face that you're delivering.
The entire cabin is a wonderful place to sit. Audi's digital display is fantastic. It's so clear. I've got the rev gauge right in front of me with a digital speedometer, which I actually prefer that format. It's all within a few inches of all I need to look at. The Camaros, while lovely, was spread out. You can't see it in one look. You kind of look to the left to see your revs, you look to the right to see your speed. This, I just get to look straight forward. There's no heads-up display, but at the end of the day, I think this does a perfect job and it sits lovely in front of me. I am a little bit surprised and potentially marginally disappointed that there is a basicness elsewhere. I think the center console could do with livening up a little bit. It's a bit too stoic, it's a bit too serious. It doesn't exactly put the fun in functional.
All right, definitely completely less refined than the RS3. This has more road noise, the seats aren't as comfortable, the interior feels cheaper, the gauges don't look as good. It's almost like the people that designed it, they did some styling stuff, and there were some people that drew some pictures that were lovely, I'm sure, to make the front end look like that. But they didn't care about things like visibility. The infotainment is canted at a bizarre downward angle, probably to try and stave off reflection, but it's dumb, it looks ridiculous. My climate control systems are these two big honking like dials that are the outside. It took me forever to find the first time. The armrest is genuinely idiotic. Like I literally can't get anything out of the armrest. You have to like do this thing where you throw the armrest up and catch it with your elbow. It's this big spire of anger that just gets in your way. But you completely stop caring about all of those things the second you find a back road and some twisties, and that's what the Camaro SS 1LE is all about. It's also about dominating the track, and that it does do that very, very well.
I'm starting to understand what Thomas is saying now. There is a fear that's enjoyed with the cars like the Camaro. You can enjoy it. This doesn't put fear in you, and that's what people buying the RS3 want. They don't want to fear. In fact, before this, when I was speaking to Thomas, I couldn't understand. I was like, why do you want fear? Why do you want to risk things? That doesn't make sense to me. I want to be able to put my foot down, and I want to go fast, and I want to see well, and I want to do it holding a lovely steering wheel while seeing a beautifully presented digital dash. And then I kind of wish I could do all of those things, but with the Camaro engine and a manual gearbox. Kind of. As far as the engine is concerned, the Camaro was a little bit magical. But the only ickle that this thing is surgical. And maybe that's what you want, but that's what it is.
Before we go back to the M2, I need to say it. Yes, I'm having a fantastic time in this Camaro, but the visibility is idiotic, and I don't like the fact that the rear seats are not usable, really. The trunk space is bad, it's very wide, and those are some pretty serious compromises for what is genuinely good fun on a back road. So I don't know. I just don't know. I'm gonna go find James and we're gonna go drive the M2. How was the Camaro?
Fantastic.
Isn't it?
Surprisingly.
I know. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
What about the RS3?
The RS3 is fantastic for what it does.
Yes.
If you want a compact, super fast, comfortable, easy to drive, Bang & Olufsen, and an Audi Alcantara steering wheel, it delivers all of that in spades.
But does it deliver fun?
It does, but in a different way. There's less driving to it.
Yes.
It makes you...
The Camaro you had to drive. You literally...
You have to drive it.
If you don't drive it, you
Yeah.
will crash.
Yeah.
The Audi kind of had a sense that if you just kind of let it do its own thing, it'd be okay.
Yeah.
Right?
If you floor it in the Audi,
Yeah.
you maintain traction, you go super fast. You floor it in the Camaro, and you're buying another Camaro. Yeah.
Yes. All right, M2 competition. Let's do it.
All right.
Off we go. This doesn't have the same digital dash, but I think these dials look cooler on this car. Like, I think those look
That's
awesome.
just because you're an M fanboy.
Maybe a little bit. This has all of the things. This has rear-wheel drive. This has a manual transmission. This has a limited slip differential. This has all of the things that you want, and including a handbrake.
But so does the Camaro.
But the Camaro doesn't have the handbrake.
Yeah.
But this also has comfortable rear seats.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. But so you're at 20 grand more. You've got comfortable rear seats and a manual handbrake.
Right.
Is that enough? I don't know.
I don't know. I can see it of this one though.
Yeah, which is like 50% of what you need from a car. You know?
Well,
The other 50% is you need it to move.
yeah, yes, you should be able to see it,
Yeah.
and you need to be able to drive. The Camaro is ridiculous as a daily vehicle. This is not ridiculous as a daily vehicle.
No, this is definitely closer to the RS3 in
Right.
like, ability to be a daily. Camaro in this has much heavier steering than the RS3.
The RS3 had boring steering.
It's livable. It's different. It's for a different clientele.
Yeah, boring. But the thing is that its build
Sophisticated.
Sure, its build as being a really like sporty, fun car.
You're right. You're right. The RS should be more aggressive.
It should be more aggressive, but it felt too easy to drive. It felt too easy to drive.
But people want that. They want that.
I want to have to learn the car. Cars are too easy nowadays.
You want to earn the car.
I want to earn the car.
It's
And-
like in Red Dead Redemption when you tame the horse.
Right.
But then the horse is yours and then it's yours. Okay, so when I accelerate in the Camaro, I lose the back end very easily. When I accelerate in the RS3,
Nothing happens, you just accelerate.
but you accelerate at lightning speed.
You do, it's very fast, without a doubt.
But in the M2,
Oh, come on, this engine is so much better. Come on.
yeah, that was good.
See?
That feels good.
The inline 5 in the RS3 sounds great, but this is so much more dramatic.
It is. There's drama. Both the Camaro and the M2 represent drama.
They do.
This represents drama at a higher, classier level.
Yes. Let me drive. I want to drive now.
No.
I love this car so much, and you're depriving me of my chance to express myself.
You can drive it when I'm done.
Fine.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay. All right. I'm back at home. This is where I belong. Oh, the suspension's actually kind of stiff, isn't it?
It is stiff. It is stiff. This is the lightest of the three, though.
Yeah, no, you can tell that when you really get it into a corner. It dances.
Yeah.
I forgot how much I loved this vehicle. Okay, the RS3 is good. The SS1LE is good, and that's a big dirty V8 too. This is better.
This feels like the two put together.
Okay,
in a very nice way.
It is. That's a perfect way of describing it.
But
It's
if I could change one thing,
yeah.
I would give this the Audi steering wheel and digital display.
Yeah, that's fair.
Then I would buy this car 10 times a day. Strange. Yes.
Oh my God. Come on. How good does that sound?
Yeah.
It is
That was
rev-
amazing you did that without breaking the 60km/h speed limit.
I can't believe that
Yeah.
is really, really
It's
magic.
so
This car,
compliant,
it's
this
just
car.
so magic.
Yeah.
All right, so Sport Plus for the steering. In order to turn the automatic rev match off, I have to turn the traction control completely off, which is what I'm doing right now. Not for the faint of heart, because honestly, the rear genuinely wants to go. When the diff locks up, it locks those wheels together, and it doesn't snap on you. It's ultra progressive. The rear just kind of walks away from the back of the car, and it's just the best feeling. And you can't do that in the RS3. Straight up.
It feels fantastic in here. The suspension, as a passenger, the suspension definitely feels stiffer.
Yeah, I'm not arguing with that.
Yeah,
It
this
is
is
different.
not a passenger car.
I feel like it's quieter though.
than the RS3.
Yeah. Definitely quieter than the Camaro.
Yes, the Camaro is a
Doing my own rev matches because I can, because the traction control's off.
Is it?
It is.
Lunatic. The RS3 is indisputably the easiest car to live with.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a fact.
It is. Yes, it's cleaner to drive.
So then
nicer to
it's
drive.
a decision. So, do you want the easy car to live with? If not, it's Camaro versus M2.
Yeah, I'm M2. What do you think?
It depends. It depends where I live.
Put it this way. You live in Toronto. Which one would you own?
I'd buy the RS3 with a manual gearbox.
They don't have the RS3 with a manual. You can't get a
I
manual.
know people. I'll ask them to make it.
Oh, my God.
So while I finished the day convinced of the M2's win, James was left conflicted.
Indeed I was. Ultimately, these are all fantastic cars, and to own any of them would be a dream come true. But in the end, while my head said RS3, my heart said M2. So I guess I'll take both?
So let us know in the comments which one you guys would have, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Also, follow @the Throttle House on Instagram if you want sneak previews of what we have coming up. See you next time!